Welcome to another Business Tech Planet video. Today, we'll show you how to make and apply permissions in SharePoint. In this video, we'll show you how to share a site, how to make and manage groups, make and manage permission levels, change the global settings in the SharePoint Admin Center, and we'll give you a bonus tip to boost security. In SharePoint, each site has its own permission groups and options for sharing content. The default groups are for owners, who have control permissions, members, who can edit site contents, and guests who can only view the site. But you can also create custom groups with bespoke permissions. Let's head into a site to take a closer look. We'll start by looking at the site sharing options. To do that, click Share at the top, where you'll have the option to share the page by email or using a link. But you can do either by selecting Share Page. In the pop-up box, you can share the page via email at the top, or you can copy a link at the bottom. First, let's click on the current sharing status, which is set to people in the organization. Here, you can send access to guests, although our organization currently limits guest access. You can send access to people in your organization. People with existing access, which essentially notifies people that they can access the site. Or specific people, which is similar to anyone, in that you can select external users. However, with this option, the users will need to sign in with a Microsoft account, which isn't necessary when selecting anyone. Let's head back and give someone access to the site. Type in their name, then select them from the drop-down. Next, click the View icon, and choose whether you want them to view or edit the site. Share settings will return you to the previous page, where you selected the sharing setting. Heading back, let's set the access to edit. Then click below to add an email message along with the invitation. When you're done, hit send. Alternatively, you can click copy. This way, you can send the invitation link directly via Teams or a different communication platform. For more sharing options, head up and click the settings icon in the top right. Then select Site Permissions in the drop-down. Here, you can add members to a particular group, or share the site with people or groups, granting them read, edit, or full control. Below, you can see which people or groups are currently assigned to owners, members, and visitors. And you can even change the access permissions from here. Next, click Change how members can share. By default, site owners and members can share files, folders, and the site. And people with edit permissions can share files and folders. But you can change that, to only allow site owners to share the site. Or to only allow site owners to share the site, and also files and folders. You can also enable or disable access requests, which people can send via email to request access to the site. You can even choose which email address the requests are sent to. Let's head back. Click Manage, under Guest Expiration. This is where you'll find guests whose access is due to expire. Our organization is set to remove guest access after 60 days, but you can change this setting in the SharePoint Admin Center. There, go to Policies in the left menu. Then select Sharing from the revealed options. Now head across and click More External Sharing Settings. Look for guest access to a site. You can uncheck this option to never remove guest access, or change the number of days before access is lost. We'll return here later for a more detailed look at the options. Next, we're going to look at permission groups. Start by heading up and clicking the settings icon in the top right. Then select Site Permissions in the drop-down. Now head down and select Advanced Permissions Settings. Here we've got the three default groups: owners, members, and visitors, with their respective permission levels displayed in the end column. If you want to modify a group, click the name. Here you'll find a list of users or groups who have been added as members. To edit the group settings, click Settings at the top, and select Group Settings from the drop-down. On the next page, you'll be able to edit the group name and description. Add or remove group owners. Change who can view the owners and members. And edit the access request settings. To remove users from the members group, we can head back to the previous page, and hit the select box next to the groups or users we want to delete. Then click Actions at the top, and select Remove Users from the drop-down. Now let's head back and create a new group. To do that, hit Create Group at the top. Enter a name and description. We'll name our group Designers. Now head down. Select who can view the group members. Then select who can edit the group members, which gives the ability to add or remove members from the group. Next, select whether or not to allow requests to leave or join the group. If you set this to yes, you can then choose to automatically accept all requests, or to send requests to a specific email address. Now head down and select a permission level. We'll choose Design, which allows users of the group to view, add, update, delete, approve, and customize site contents. When you're finished, head down and click Create. To add new members to this group, head up and click New. In the dialog box, enter the name or email address of the person you'd like to add. Then select them from the drop-down. If you don't want to send an email invitation, click Show Options. Then uncheck the box next to send an email invitation. When you're done, hit Share. Now let's look at permission levels. You'll notice that when you select the default groups, you won't be able to modify the permission levels. However, if you select the group we made, you'll have the option to change the permissions at the top. We can now select a different permission level as required. If you want to create a custom permission level, head up and click Permission Levels. Then click Add Permission on the next page. Name the permission level at the top. We'll call ours Editors. Then head down and select all the permissions that you'd like to apply to the new permission level. We'll select a few options as an example, but there are many different options to choose from. When you're done, head down and click Create. To edit the permission level, click the name. Or to delete it, click the checkbox next to the permission, then head up and click Delete Selected Permission Levels. Finally, click OK in the dialog box. Now we've looked at permissions at the site level, let's look at the global settings in the SharePoint Admin Center. To get there, go to admin.microsoft.com, and click the menu icon in the top left. Head down and click Show All. Then select SharePoint from the list of admin centers. In the SharePoint Admin Center, head up to Active Sites in the left menu. Then go across and locate a site you'd like to edit. Select the site. Then head up and click Settings. Here, you can change the site to public or private. Under the email header, you can choose to let external users send emails to the site owners, members, and other groups. You can also choose to send copies of team emails and events to all the team members. With this option selected, when someone sends a message to the team email address, all site members, including owners and visitors with email addresses, will receive a copy of the message. You can also choose not to show the team's email address in Outlook. Under External File Sharing, you can click the Select box and choose which external users to share with. If you select anyone, the sharing option we saw earlier in the video will no longer be grayed out. But if the option is still grayed out, you may need to edit the sharing policy, which we'll look at later. And if you don't want to share with external users, set this option to only people in your organization. For now, click More Sharing Settings. Then scroll down the next page to the Advanced Settings, where you can select the default sharing option for links. To select a different default setting, uncheck the box, then select an option from the list. You can do the same with the default link permission. These options are only defaults, which you can change when sharing an item. Now let's head back. This time, go to the left menu and select Policies. Then choose Sharing from the revealed options. Now head across, where you'll be able to change the global sharing settings for SharePoint and OneDrive, by dragging the sliders up or down. Now click More External Sharing Settings. Here you can limit external sharing by domain. Click Add Domains. On the right, select Allow or Block. Then enter the domains in the input box below, using new lines for multiple domains. If we wanted to share only with a different tenant, you'd write the tenant name, then .sharepoint.com. Let's head back and look at some more options. You can allow only users in certain security groups to share with external users. Force guests to sign into the account that an invitation was sent to. Allow guests to share items they don't own. Set or remove an expiration time for guest access. And force re-authentication after a specific number of days. Below, we can choose the default sharing settings for all sites, which we did earlier at the local level for individual sites. It's worth noting that some site settings can override global settings, such as access or regional settings. Further down, we can choose to expire anyone links after a specified number of days. And we can also define the permissions that anyone links grant to files and folders. For a bonus tip, we'll show you how to use conditional access to enhance SharePoint security. Start from the Admin Center, and hit the menu icon in the top left. Then go down and select Identity. If you can't find Identity, click Show All, then select Identity from the list of admin centers. In Microsoft Entra, formerly Azure Active Directory, head to Protection in the left menu. Then select Conditional Access from the revealed options. Now head up and across, and click Create New Policy. First, name your policy. We'll call it MFA, as we'll be requiring multi-factor authentication in this example. Continue down and click the link under Users. Then select All Users. Next, click the link under Target Resources. And select All Cloud Apps. Click the link under Conditions if you want to restrict access to certain devices, such as Android or iOS. Or if you want to restrict access from untrusted locations. Now head down and click the link under Grant. Then select Require Multi-Factor Authentication. Remember to head down and click Select before continuing. Head back across and select whether to exclude yourself from the policy. It's usually a good idea to exclude yourself for the time being. Then turn the policy on. And finally, hit Create. That's all for this video. If you found it helpful, why not buy us a coffee? We'd really appreciate it, and you'll be helping us grow the channel. Thanks for watching. Remember to check the description for additional resources. And don't forget to subscribe for more Microsoft videos.